Good day, everyone. I'm John, and today we are embarking on a journey into the shadowy corners of human behavior. As a seasoned expert in psychology and philosophy, I've seen and studied various facets of human interactions. Today, I want to share with you some of the darker aspects of these interactions, specifically the tricks and tactics that some people use to manipulate and control others. Dark psychology might sound like something out of a thriller novel, but it's very real and can have significant impacts on our daily lives. These tactics are often subtle and insidious, making them difficult to detect. However, being aware of them is the first step towards protecting yourself and maintaining your emotional well-being. Imagine a time when you felt inexplicably down after a seemingly harmless comment from a colleague, or when you found yourself agreeing to something you didn't want to do, just because you felt you owed someone a favor. These are not mere coincidences, but could be the result of deliberate psychological manipulation. In this lecture, we will uncover 5 dark psychology tricks that people don't want you to know. These tricks exploit our insecurities, create confusion, stir jealousy, foster a sense of indebtedness, and use silence as a weapon. By understanding these tactics, you'll be better equipped to recognize them and defend yourself against their manipulative effects. We'll delve into each of these tricks with detailed explanations, real-life examples, and practical advice on how to protect yourself. Whether in the workplace, in relationships, or in everyday interactions, these insights will empower you to navigate your social world with greater awareness and resilience. So let's dive in and shed light on these shadowy tactics, arming ourselves with knowledge and strategies to stay strong and secure in the face of psychological manipulation. Welcome to Knowledge Journey, where we explore the depths of psychology, philosophy, and human behavior. Thank you for joining me today. Let's begin this enlightening journey together. Shusher, Trick 1, Exploiting Insecurity. Imagine standing in front of your colleagues, presenting an idea you've worked tirelessly on. Suddenly, a voice chimes in with a seemingly innocent remark. "Wow, I didn't expect you to pull this off. Really surprising." At first glance, it sounds like a compliment, but there's a sting hidden within those words. This is a classic example of exploiting insecurity, a dark psychology trick used to manipulate and control. Exploiting insecurity involves identifying and targeting someone's self-doubt. It's a tactic designed to chip away at your confidence, making you second-guess your abilities and decisions. Manipulators use this to their advantage, creating a power dynamic where you feel inferior and more susceptible to their influence. Let's take a closer look at how this plays out in real life. In the workplace, a colleague might regularly make offhand comments about your performance, subtly undermining your confidence. They might say things like, "I was really surprised you managed to meet the deadline," or "It's impressive you handled that client meeting all by yourself." These remarks are crafted to sound positive, but are laced with doubt and condescension. In relationships, a partner might exploit your insecurities by comparing you to others. They could say, "My ex used to cook dinner every night," or "You should dress more like my friend. She always looks so put together." Such comparisons are designed to make you feel inadequate and more dependent on their approval. Recognizing these tactics is the first step in defending yourself. When you hear a comment that makes you feel uneasy or uncertain, take a moment to analyze it. Ask yourself if the remark genuinely appreciates your efforts or subtly undermines them. Understanding the intention behind the words can help you maintain your confidence and self-worth. Building a robust sense of self-awareness and self-confidence is crucial. Engage in positive self-talk and remind yourself of your strengths and achievements. Surround yourself with supportive individuals who genuinely appreciate you and your efforts. Set personal boundaries and don't be afraid to distance yourself from those who consistently make you feel less than capable. One effective defense mechanism is to confront the manipulator directly. If someone makes a remark that undermines your confidence, respond assertively. For example, you could say, "I appreciate your feedback, but I am confident in my abilities and the work I produce." This not only asserts your self-worth, but also signals to the manipulator that their tactics won't work on you. Another strategy is to document your achievements and positive feedback. Keeping a record of your successes and the praise you receive from others can serve as a powerful reminder of your capabilities when faced with attempts to undermine your confidence. Transitioning to our next dark psychology trick, let's delve into the murky waters of creating ambiguity and confusion. Just as exploiting insecurity aims to shake your self-confidence, ambiguity and confusion are used to disorient and control you. These tactics, while different in execution, share a common goal: to make you feel powerless and dependent on the manipulator for clarity and direction. By understanding these dark psychology tricks, you can protect yourself from manipulation and maintain your emotional well-being. Let's continue our journey into the shadowy corners of human behavior and uncover more tactics that people don't want you to know. Trick 2. Creating ambiguity and confusion. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation where nothing seems clear, where the person you're speaking with keeps changing the subject or using overly complex language? It's like trying to catch smoke with your hands, frustrating and ultimately futile. This is the dark art of creating ambiguity and confusion, a manipulative tactic designed to leave you feeling lost and reliant on the other person for clarity. Creating ambiguity and confusion involves intentionally using vague or convoluted language to obscure the truth and keep you off balance. This tactic is especially potent in situations where clarity and precision are crucial, such as in negotiations, discussions about important decisions, or even everyday interactions where you seek straightforward answers. Picture this. You're in a meeting discussing a critical project. You ask a colleague for their input, and they respond with, "We need to look at this issue from various perspectives to evaluate it properly, but I think it's too early to draw any clear conclusions." At first, it sounds reasonable, even thoughtful. But as the conversation progresses, you realize they haven't provided any concrete answers. You leave the meeting more confused than when you entered, doubting your understanding of the situation. This tactic isn't limited to professional settings. In personal relationships, someone might say, "I just think we need to consider all the possibilities and not rush into anything," when you ask about their commitment to the relationship. Their words are intentionally nebulous, leaving you in a state of uncertainty and doubt. Recognizing when someone is creating ambiguity and confusion is crucial. Pay attention to how you feel during and after the conversation. If you find yourself constantly seeking clarification or feeling more confused despite repeated explanations, you might be dealing with a manipulator. Defending against this tactic involves several strategies. First, always seek clarity. Don't hesitate to ask direct questions and request specific answers. If someone responds with vague or complex language, politely insist on a more straightforward explanation. For example, you might say, "I appreciate your perspective, but I need a clear understanding of your position on this matter." Another effective approach is to summarize what you understood and ask for confirmation. This technique forces the other person to either agree with your interpretation or provide additional clarity. You could say, "So, if I understand correctly, you're saying that we should wait before making a decision? Is that right?" It's also essential to trust your instincts. If you feel that someone is intentionally being vague or evasive, it's okay to call them out on it. You might say, "I feel like we're going in circles here. Can you please give me a direct answer?" This not only disrupts their tactic, but also signals that you're not easily manipulated. Transitioning to our next topic, we'll explore the manipulative power of stirring jealousy and competition. Just as ambiguity and confusion aim to disorient and control, jealousy and competition are used to pit people against each other, creating an environment of distrust and rivalry. By understanding these tactics and learning how to counter them, you empower yourself to navigate through manipulative situations with confidence and clarity. Let's continue our journey and uncover more of these dark psychology tricks that people don't want you to know. Trick 3. Stirring jealousy and competition. Let's take a walk down memory lane. Think back to a time when someone casually compared you to another person. Maybe it was a colleague, a friend, or even a family member. Anna finished her project ahead of schedule and did a fantastic job. Do you think you can do the same? These words might seem innocent, but they carry a hidden agenda: to stir jealousy and ignite competition. Stirring jealousy and competition is a dark psychology trick used to create an environment of rivalry and distrust. This tactic leverages our innate desire to be seen as successful and competent, turning it against us. By constantly comparing us to others, manipulators fuel feelings of inadequacy and push us to compete, often for their own benefit. In the workplace, this tactic is commonly used to pit employees against each other. A manager might say, Mark managed to land that big client last quarter. I'm hoping you'll step up and do the same. On the surface, it sounds like encouragement, but underneath, it's a subtle nudge towards competition. Instead of fostering a collaborative environment, it creates tension and rivalry, making you feel like you have to outperform your peers to gain approval. In personal relationships, stirring jealousy can be even more insidious. Imagine a partner saying, "My ex used to surprise me with gifts all the time. It was really thoughtful." Such comments are designed to make you feel like you're not doing enough, prompting you to go to greater lengths to meet their expectations. This not only fosters insecurity, but also creates a sense of constant competition with an unseen rival. Recognizing this manipulative tactic involves paying attention to how these comparisons make you feel. Do you feel motivated, or do you feel inadequate and pressured? Understanding the emotional impact of these statements is the first step in defending yourself. To counteract this tactic, it's important to focus on your own goals and achievements. Remind yourself of your strengths and successes, independent of others. For instance, if a colleague's accomplishments are being used to spur you into action, take a moment to reflect on your own contributions. You might think, "I've also had significant successes this quarter, and I'm proud of my progress." Another effective strategy is to communicate openly about how these comparisons make you feel. In a professional setting, you could say, "I appreciate the feedback, but I work best when I focus on my own goals rather than competing with others." In personal relationships, you might express, "I understand your past experiences are important, but I'd prefer if we focus on our relationship and what we can do for each other now." It's also helpful to create a supportive network around you. Surround yourself with people who value and recognize your efforts without constantly comparing you to others. This positive reinforcement can help buffer against the negative impact of manipulative comparisons. As we transition to our next topic, let's dive into the deceptive tactic of creating a sense of indebtedness. Just as jealousy and competition can be used to manipulate your actions, the feeling of owing someone can be a powerful tool in the hands of a manipulator. By understanding and recognizing these dark psychology tricks, you empower yourself to maintain your emotional and psychological well-being. Let's continue our journey into the depths of human behavior and uncover more tactics that people don't want you to know. Trick 4, creating a sense of indebtedness. Imagine this, you've just received unexpected help on a project, a favor that seemed to come out of nowhere. At first, you feel grateful, thinking how kind it was for someone to step in and lend a hand. But then, not long after, they come to you with a request. Remember, I helped you with that task last time. I hope you won't forget that when I need your help. Suddenly, the favor feels like a debt, and you're left feeling obligated. Creating a sense of indebtedness is a classic dark psychology trick. Manipulators use this tactic to make you feel that you owe them something, leveraging your gratitude into a tool for control. The initial act of kindness or help is not as altruistic as it seems. It's a calculated move to bind you in a web of obligation. In professional settings, this tactic can be particularly effective. Consider a colleague who goes out of their way to assist you with a challenging task. Later, they might come to you with their own difficult project, implying that your assistance is expected in return. They might say, "I was happy to help you with that report last month. Can you stay late to help me with mine?" The unspoken message is clear. You owe them. In personal relationships, this tactic can create an even deeper sense of obligation. A friend or partner might remind you of past favors or sacrifices to get you to comply with their wishes. They could say, "I've done so much for you over the years. It's the least you could do to help me out this time." This tactic plays on your senses of duty and gratitude, making it difficult to refuse. Recognizing when someone is creating a sense of indebtedness involves understanding the dynamics of genuine help versus manipulative favors. Genuine acts of kindness are given freely, without expectation of return. Manipulative favors, on the other hand, are given with the clear intention of creating an obligation. To defend yourself against this tactic, it's crucial to set clear boundaries and assert your autonomy. When someone tries to leverage a past favor for their benefit, it's okay to acknowledge their help while maintaining your independence. You could say, "I appreciate the help you gave me, and I'll do my best to assist you if I can, but I need to balance my own responsibilities as well." It's also helpful to communicate openly about your boundaries. In professional environments, you might express, "I'm grateful for your assistance, but I need to prioritize my current workload. Let's find a way to manage both our tasks effectively." In personal relationships, you could say, "I value what you've done for me, but I can't always be available to help with everything. I hope you understand." Building a strong sense of self-awareness and self-respect is key. Remind yourself that it's okay to say no and that genuine relationships are built on mutual respect, not obligations. Surround yourself with people who understand and respect your boundaries and who offer help without strings attached. As we transition to our final dark psychology trick, let's explore the power of silence as a weapon. Just as creating a sense of indebtedness binds you in a web of obligation, using silence strategically can create an atmosphere of uncertainty and control. By understanding these dark psychology tricks and learning how to counter them, you arm yourself with the tools to protect your emotional and psychological well-being. Let's continue our journey and uncover more of these hidden tactics that people don't want you to know. Trick 5. Using silence as a weapon. Picture this. You're in a heated discussion with someone and suddenly they go silent. Not a word, not a hint of emotion, just a stony, impenetrable silence. You start to feel uncomfortable, anxious even. Your mind races, trying to fill the void. This is no ordinary silence. It's a strategic maneuver designed to make you squirm. This is the dark psychology trick of using silence as a weapon. Silence, when used intentionally, can be a powerful tool of manipulation. It creates an uncomfortable space where your thoughts and emotions run wild, often leading you to question yourself, seek approval, or even capitulate to the other person's unspoken demands. The manipulator remains in control while you are left grappling with the uncertainty. Imagine being in a negotiation where the other party suddenly stops responding to your offers. The silence stretches on, and you begin to second-guess your position, wondering if you've asked for too much or if you should concede to break the tension. This tactic forces you into a psychological corner, pushing you to make decisions out of discomfort rather than logic. In personal relationships, this tactic can be even more distressing. A partner might use the silent treatment to punish you for a perceived slight, leaving you to stew in your anxiety. You might find yourself apologizing or making amends just to restore communication, even if you're not at fault. The silence becomes a weapon of control, making you feel isolated and desperate for resolution. Recognizing this manipulative use of silence is crucial. Pay attention to how the silence makes you feel and the context in which it's being used. Is it a pause for reflection, or is it a deliberate move to make you feel uncomfortable and uncertain? To defend yourself against this tactic, it's important to stay calm and composed. Acknowledge the silence without letting it provoke an emotional reaction. You could say, "I notice that you're silent. If you need time to think, I understand, but I'd like to continue this conversation when you're ready." This approach maintains your control over the situation and signals that you won't be easily manipulated by silence. It's also helpful to set boundaries and communicate openly about how silence affects you. In professional settings, you might express, "I find that long silences during negotiations can be counterproductive. Let's try to keep the dialogue open to reach a resolution." In personal relationships, you could say, "I understand if you need time to cool down, but prolonged silence makes me feel anxious. Can we agree to talk things through?" Building your own tolerance for silence can also be an effective strategy. Practice sitting with silence in your own time, allowing yourself to become comfortable with it. This reduces its power over you when used by others as a manipulative tactic. As we conclude our exploration of these dark psychology tricks, remember that knowledge is your greatest ally. By understanding and recognizing these tactics, exploiting insecurity, creating ambiguity, stirring jealousy, creating a sense of indebtedness, and using silence as a weapon, you arm yourself with the tools to navigate and counter manipulation. These insights empower you to protect your emotional and psychological well-being, ensuring that you remain in control of your interactions and relationships. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the shadowy corners of human behavior. Together, we can shine a light on these hidden tactics and stand strong against manipulation. Conclusion. As we bring this journey to a close, I want you to take a moment and reflect on what we've uncovered together. We've delved into the shadowy corners of human behavior, exploring the dark psychology tricks that some people use to manipulate and control. These tactics, exploiting insecurity, creating ambiguity, stirring jealousy, fostering a sense of indebtedness, and wielding silence as a weapon, are not just theoretical concepts. They are real, and they affect our lives in subtle yet profound ways. Imagine how powerful it would be to walk into any situation armed with the knowledge to recognize and counter these manipulations. Picture yourself in the workplace, in your personal relationships, or even in everyday interactions, feeling confident and in control. That's the power of understanding dark psychology. It's not about becoming paranoid or distrustful. It's about being aware and prepared. Think back to the times when you felt undermined by a seemingly innocent comment or left in the dark by ambiguous words. Remember the pangs of jealousy that gnawed at you, or the weight of unspoken obligations that pulled you down. Recall the unsettling silence that left you questioning your worth. These experiences are not just memories, they are lessons. Lessons that have shaped you and brought you to this point of awareness. Now, with this newfound knowledge, you have the tools to protect yourself. You have the strategies to maintain your emotional and psychological well-being. You can set boundaries, assert your worth, and navigate through manipulative situations with grace and confidence. It's essential to remember that while these tactics are dark and manipulative, they also reveal a lot about human nature and our vulnerabilities. They remind us of the importance of self-awareness, self-respect, and emotional intelligence. By understanding these dark aspects, we can foster healthier, more genuine relationships built on trust and mutual respect. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Knowledge is not just power, it's liberation. By shedding light on these manipulative tactics, you free yourself from their grasp. You empower yourself to lead a life where you are in control of your interactions and relationships. Thank you for joining me on this enlightening journey. Here at Knowledge Journey, we strive to explore and understand the complexities of human behavior, psychology, and philosophy. I hope today's lecture has not only informed you, but also inspired you to stay vigilant and empowered. Stay curious, stay aware, and most importantly, stay true to yourself. Until next time, this is John, wishing you strength and clarity on your journey through life.